Young and the Restless spoilers full. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today is a beautiful day to dive into some serious Genoa City drama. Grab a snack, settle in, and let's get right into the madness we need to unpack today. Are you kidding me right now? I am literally shaking as I type this because I cannot believe what I just watched. I cannot believe they are doing this to her. I mean, we all saw the promo, right? Please tell me I am not the only one who is absolutely freaking out right now. I just finished watching the latest episode. It is way too late at night, and I am so wired and emotional that I just have to get this out of my system before I explode. They are coming for our queen, you guys. They are coming for Nikki Newman, and I am absolutely terrified that we are about to watch one of the most heartbreaking storylines in the history of this show. React first, explain later. I know, but my God. Seeing her in that kind of pain, seeing her clutch her head like her skull is splitting open, it physically hurts my heart. I've been watching since 2015, and this is the worst thing they've done to her in years. I am dreading it. I am absolutely dreading whatever medical nightmare the writers are cooking up for her right now. Okay, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up and explain what is actually happening for anyone who somehow missed the weekly promo. So we get this scene, right? It's Nikki and Victoria, and Nikki is just looking completely wrecked. She grabs her head, and you can see the absolute agony painted all over her face. Melody Thomas Scott is acting her absolute heart out in this 5-second clip, and she cries out to Victoria, "This headache!" I thought it was gone, but now it's back. And it's not just a passing comment. It's not an, oh, I need an aspirin kind of headache. This is a debilitating, world-spinning, drop to your knees kind of pain. Victoria looks genuinely horrified, which, let's be honest, takes a lot these days because Victoria has been so hardened by all the Newman corporate warfare. But seeing her Ice Queen exterior crack because her mother is in sheer agony, that tells you everything you need to know. The show is highlighting this headache way too much for it to be nothing. They put it in the promo. You don't put a regular migraine in the weekly teaser unless it is the start of a massive, life-altering storyline. And let's just talk about the elephant in the room, the stress. Is it any wonder Nikki's brain feels like it's going to explode? Look at what this poor woman is dealing with right now. Am I the only one who remembers that just days ago, Nikki was literally screaming in absolute despair in the hospital waiting room? Nick, her golden boy, her son, just drove his car off a cliff in Genoa City because he was hallucinating Matt Clark after taking fentanyl and cocaine supplied by Sienna Bacall. Nick is lying there with potential permanent brain damage, and Nikki is watching her family crumble into dust. How much trauma can one mother take? Because frankly, it is bordering on torture porn at this point. She is watching Nick fight for his life. She is watching Adam spiral into guilt, and she is watching Victor Victor is off playing God, weighing a $2 million extortion demand from Patty Williams to find Matt Clark, while his wife is literally collapsing from the weight of it all. The stress alone is enough to give anyone a stroke. But here is where my mind immediately goes, and I know I am not the only longtime fan thinking this. What about her MS? Remember when they tried this with her multiple sclerosis flare-ups in the past? Yeah, didn't work then either, to just brush it under the rug. We know Nikki has MS. We know that extreme traumatic stress is the #1 trigger for an MS relapse. So part of me is praying, literally begging the soap gods, that this is just a severe MS flare-up brought on by the nightmare with Nick. If it's MS, we know she can manage it. We know she has the best doctors Victor's billions can buy. But, and this is a massive, terrifying but, headaches are not typically the primary symptom of an MS flare-up. Not like this. Not this blinding skull-crushing agony that the promo is teasing. Which leads me to the darker theory, the one that is keeping me awake right now, typing furiously on my keyboard. What if it is a brain tumor? I am sorry, but I have to say it. I know some people are loving this drama, but personally, I am sick to my stomach thinking about it. What if Nikki Newman has a brain tumor or some incredibly rare, fatal neurological disease? Y&R loves a tragic medical mystery, and they are laying the groundwork so heavily here. If Nikki keeps getting these headaches, she is going to be completely incapacitated. She won't be able to function. And Victoria, who is clearly going to be the one to drag her kicking and screaming to the doctor, is going to be the one sitting there when the doctor delivers a shocking, devastating diagnosis. Can you even imagine the scene? Victoria holding Nikki's hand as a neurologist looks at an MRI and says, "There's a mass?" I am already crying, just visualizing it. It would completely upend the entire canvas of Genoa City. And can we talk about the cruel, twisted irony of it all if this happens? Nick is currently fighting potential permanent brain damage from his horrific car wreck. If Nikki is diagnosed with a brain tumor or a brain disease at the exact same time, the writers are basically inflicting a synchronized neurological tragedy on the Newmans. Is this some sick joke? Why do the writers hate the Newmans so much right now? It is too much tragedy at once. You have the son with his brain swelling from a cliff dive and the mother with her brain deteriorating from an illness. It's actually brilliant drama. I hate to admit it, but it is so painful to watch. I am so emotionally invested in this family. I want them to be scheming in boardrooms, not sharing adjoining hospital rooms in the ICU. Let yourself go off on tangents, right? Okay, speaking of the hospital, where is Victor in all of this? If Nikki gets a terminal or severe diagnosis, Victor is going to absolutely lose his mind. And I mean full-blown, scorched earth, tearing down the hospital walls, kind of losing it. He is already so consumed with vengeance over what Matt Clark did to Nick. He's plotting with Diane. He's dealing with Phyllis's AI evidence mess. He's getting extorted by Patty Williams. But Nikki is his heart. Nikki is his center. If Nikki's health fails, Victor's entire empire means absolutely nothing. We are going to see a vulnerable, broken Victor Newman, and honestly, Eric Braeden is going to act the hell out of that material, but I am not ready for the emotional devastation. I am just not. Okay, back to the point. The headaches. The way Nikki said, "I thought it was gone, but now it's back." That phrasing is so specific. It implies this isn't just a sudden onset thing. She has been hiding this. She has been suffering in silence, probably because she didn't want to add to the family's burden while Nick was spiraling into his addiction. Nikki is always trying to be the strong matriarch, holding everyone together while they fall apart. She watched Nick get cornered by Victoria about his drug use. She watched him confess to buying drugs from Sienna. She carried all of that secret pain, and now her body is physically rebelling. It's classic soap opera martyrdom, and I kind of hate it, but I also kind of love it because Melody is so good at playing the tragic heroine. I mean, just think about the ripple effects. If this is a brain tumor, think about Jack Abbott. I know Jack is currently caught up in his own messy, ridiculous drama with Diane and Patty, which, by the way, Jack manipulating Patty is so gross, but that's a rant for another day. But Jack and Nikki have such a profound history. If Nikki is fighting for her life, Jack is going to drop everything to be by her side, and Diane is going to absolutely lose her mind with jealousy. We already saw Diane catch them in a compromising situation recently. A life-threatening illness for Nikki will pull Jack right back into her orbit, and the Abbott-Newman war will take on a completely different, heartbreaking dimension. Can we also just take a minute to reflect on everything Nikki has survived over the decades? Because if a random brain illness is what takes her down, I am going to riot. This is the woman who survived alcoholism, who survived being shot, who survived cults, who survived Diane Jenkins' endless psychotic schemes, and who has stood toe-to-toe with the most dangerous villains in Genoa City history. She is a survivor in every sense of the word. To have her body betray her now from the inside out feels so incredibly unfair. I know life is unfair, and I know soaps are supposed to reflect real life struggles, but come on, give the woman a break. She has earned a peaceful retirement, maybe a nice vacation in Italy with Victor, not a terrifying stint in a neurology ward. But of course, peaceful vacations don't win daytime Emmys, do they? So we are stuck watching our beloved matriarch suffer. I've been watching this show for years, and I feel like they always do this to the veteran characters when they want to sweep the awards. They give them a terrible disease. Remember when they tried this with Ashley and her breast cancer, or Victor's rare blood disease? Yeah, didn't work then either to make me happy. It just made me depressed. But I have to admit, it grounds the show. Amidst all the corporate takeovers, the AI email framing, the kidnapping in Las Vegas, a raw, human story about a matriarch facing her mortality is exactly what the show needs to anchor it. But it doesn't mean I have to like watching my favorite characters suffer. So, what is going to happen next? Here is my prediction, and I am putting it out there into the universe right now. Victoria is going to force Nikki to go to the hospital. Nikki will resist, saying she needs to be there for Nick. She will literally collapse in the Newman Ranch living room. Victor will find her. They will rush her to the ER, and the doctors will run a CT scan. And then the cliffhanger Friday episode will end with the doctor walking out with a grim look on his face, asking Victor and Victoria to sit down. I am dreading it. I am absolutely dreading it, but I am also going to be glued to my screen with a box of tissues because I am a glutton for punishment. Ultimately, I just hope the writers respect Nikki's legacy. If she has a brain tumor, let her fight it with the fierce, undeniable strength that makes her Nikki Newman. Don't make her weak. Don't make her a victim. Let her face this head on, with Victor holding her hand and her children rallying around her. Because if there's one thing this fandom cannot handle right now, it is losing the heart and soul of Genoa City. So please, Y&R writers, if you are listening to this exhausted, emotional fan typing at 2 a.m., give us a story of survival, not a tragedy. We have had enough tragedy with Nick. We need a miracle for Nikki. We really, really do.